So welcome everyone to our bookseller orientation for New Voices, New Rooms. We are really thrilled that you're here to learn more about what's in store for you this year. As you'll soon discover, we're bringing back all the goodness from last year and adding in a lot more at your request to help you have the best and the richest experience at our conference. And I wanted to pass on that our total bookseller registrations have already surpassed last year's, and we're still a month away from the conference. We have a really big group of first-time conference attendees and veterans coming in, and a really great mix of bookstore models. So the mix of new and experienced and different approaches to book selling will create this special ephemeral community over 4 days that'll bring a lot of opportunities to be innovative, talk about challenges coming up, and find solutions together. One of the themes of this conference, outside of bringing important members of our book selling community together, is taking care of yourself. And our team will talk about this in more detail, but personally, I view the emphasis on different ways to take care of yourself during and outside of the conference as this beautiful thread woven into our programming. And I hope you enjoy taking part in some of the social offerings that stress wellness. I wanted to give you all a heads up to book your hotel room by July 17th. That's next Wednesday, to get our special rate, because we don't want you to miss out on that opportunity for savings. And also, if you run into any issues booking your room, please email me directly, lindamarie@cebaweb.com, and we will try to sort you a room. So today we're going to let you know how this conference will work, and we're providing some tips on how best to approach it. If while we're presenting a question comes up, please put it in the chat and one of us will get to it either during our presentation or at the end. So now I'm going to introduce our team and their roles. First is Eileen Dengler. She is the Executive Director of NABA, and her focus is developing our education schedule as well as organizing rep picks, genre buzz, and editor buzz opportunities. She also works with me on all things related to the hotel, and she's really the main hotel point person. And we're both really stressing making our NVNR environment as easy, inclusive, accessible, and well-stocked with delicious food as we can make it. Kit Little is the Executive Administrator of NABA. Kit is handling sponsor, exhibit, author appearance, invoicing, and ad sales. Nikki Leone is SEBA's Website and Systems Administrator. She handles all registrations and production, communication, and technical support for New Voices, New Rooms. SP Rankin is in charge of website design, development, and management for New Voices, New Rooms. And she is the creator of our amazing attendee app. She's also a conference photographer. Elliot Batzadik is the member manager for NABA and a lead on accessibility. She's also going to be at our registration desk for much of the conference to answer your questions. Candace Huber is the member relations coordinator for SEBA, co-leading with accessibility with Elliot. They are also on our social committee, which you'll hear more about later. And Candace is also a social media coordinator for SEBA and NVNR and is leading a finance education session. Kathy Ellen Davis is the social media coordinator for NABA and NVNR, as well as on our social committee. She made our Barbie photo booth last year and has a very timely booth in mind for this year. Andy Richardson is SEBA's sales coordinator. For NVNR, she'll be very busy putting ARCs at each event for you to pick up, as well as working with Nikki on making available live transcription at our keynote events. She's also leading a panel on horror, and you'll see her leading one of our bus tours. So first off, we'll go to Eileen, who will discuss some of this year's new elements.
Hi, everyone. I'm very excited to work on another conference for our booksellers. To give you a quick overview, Thursday is our welcoming day with bus tours and other welcoming activities and opening reception. orientation for first timers and just a day to get your feet wet and meet your friends in the selling community. Friday, our focus is on bookseller education. Saturday, the focus is on books and publishers. And Sunday, the focus is digging deep into your individual roles in your bookstore. This year, we wanted to make sure that every moment was filled with a chance to learn. So we altered the standard bookstore tours to make them about education. Each of the bookstores we visit will be showing off an element of their operations that they're very proud of and that you could use in your own store. We also wanted to embrace our members who are taking books to readers with bookmobiles. So we'll have 4 of them in the hotel driveway on Thursday at 11 a.m. So we're calling it our bookmobile rally. So come on down to the driveway and you can see how they built their mobile bookstores and ask them lots of questions on how they run their business. We know that it can be very intimidating coming to an event where you think you don't know anyone and that everyone else in the room is friends and they all have it figured out. Most people feel that way, and we encourage you to contact any of us, Linda Marie or myself, and I'm at eileen@naba.com, and we can help introduce you to a mentor who can walk you through the conference, be your friend at the conference, make introductions with publishers. And we also have an orientation on Thursday to show you how to navigate New Voices, New Rooms. On Sunday, we are devoting that day to retreats, which are meetings built around your store role. So there's one for owners who are the only employees of their business, store owners with staff, frontline booksellers, general managers, and children's booksellers. And those are great places to make some new friends and discuss any issue you might have at your store. And if you're there on Thursday afternoon, but you don't want to go on a bookstore tour or you come too late, we have a special tour of the Library of Congress. I also encourage you to take some time coming in or out of the conference to visit bookstores along your route or visit some of the special museums in DC. There's a lot we would love to have built tours around, but there's only so much time we have. For education, I can't pick a favorite child, but I encourage you to attend a session that would boost your own growth and inspire you. Find out what you don't know by attending those sessions that you need to learn about. And follow our theme of taking care of yourself. And we do have a session devoted to that. We just met with the speakers. And I mean, again, I can't have favorites, but I think I'll be sitting in on that one. Our newest program, we had it last year, is our Genre Buzz, which is on Saturday, and that's a must attend. There we'll share Edelweiss collections of the hot titles in the different genres, and you can share your favorites in those genres with the booksellers at the table. So it's a great place to just talk books specifically in genres and just share all the titles we love. And now we'll go over to Nikki and SP to talk about our show app.
Okay. Yeah, I'll talk about the show app. I'm going to put the link to the app in the chat. So if you have already registered for the show, you should be able to access it. And I'm trying to share my screen here. Okay, can you all see my screen? Yeah, okay. So the show app that we've developed for NVNR, there is a bookseller version and an exhibitor's version. And it is, NVNR is such a complex, all-encompassing kind of program. And there's so much going on all the time that this is the best way we found that to be able to let people have instant access at any time to what's going on or to find answers for what's going on. So If you're a bookseller, you'll just log into the conference app. And Candace, I'm going to be you for the purposes of this demonstration so that people can see. You'll log in with the email address that you registered with. If you have any trouble, you can always reach out to me, and I'll be able to get you in. And what you're seeing, I should mention here, what you're seeing is because I'm on my laptop, the desktop version of it, but it's completely mobile friendly. And the only thing I would say is if I click on a button or something and you don't see it when you're following along on your phones, look for a little hamburger menu. It's probably in there. So this is your show app, and it has all things NVNR that we can think of that you would need to know or have access to. One of the first things to notice is that at the very top of the menu is what we call NVNR Today. This will be updated every day with things that are important, and especially you'll want to look at it in the mornings because of it will be where we post things like last minute room changes. If something like that happens, you'll be able to find it in your app there. But the main things I wanted to talk about first off was at the bottom of the screen you'll see a menu item called My NVNR. That is basically your account with New Voices, New Rooms. It has everything that we think we know about you. And it's important for you all to take a look at that and make sure all that information is correct, because it is the information that will end up on your show badge. So you'll want to make sure that your bookstore is spelled correctly, if that's what you want it to say, that your names are correct, if that's what you want it to say. The other things you'll find in here are the tickets and passes that you would have purchased. And if you want to make a choice about, oh my gosh, that's a lot of choices. But if you want to choose your meal preference, you would do it here in the show app. If you have any special dietary requirements, you can click in dietary requirements and write them all out there. Anything that you think that New Voices, New Rooms needs to know. And Lynn and Bree, I'm just going to say my chat screen has disappeared again. So if somebody is asking a question, break it and let me know, because I can never see it when I'm sharing my screen.
Okay.
The other thing is that there's a section that we've added for accommodations and accessibility. And once again, we want you to be as detailed as you need to be in this. Anything you think that we need to know, we will pay attention to it, and we will try to make it happen for you. And finally, the other thing that you'll do in My NVNR is sign up for one of those retreats that Eileen was just talking about. They've expanded the number of retreats, the kinds of retreats. It is consistently one of the most favorite and most productive and useful things that booksellers report having attended whenever they go to the conference. So make sure that you pick the retreat that applies best to you or that you most want to attend to. The owners retreats, both the single one-person band owners and the owners with staff, those are owners only. General managers can't attend, regular managers can't attend. So those are the only ones that are restricted in that sense. But the other ones, feel free to attend. So that's My NVNR. The other thing to note is up where the tickets and passes are is the bus tours, because there's a lot of really cool bus tours this year, and because they've added education to the tours that are going to the different bookstores, we're really highly encouraging everybody who can to sign up for a bus tour if you're going to be in Arlington on Thursday. The tour tickets cost $50. If you haven't bought a ticket, you can do it via the app. And what would happen is if you sign in to your account here and you look at tickets, you'll see the tickets that you'd already purchased, but you'll also see a button to click on to purchase a bus tour ticket. And so if you're, thinking about that again and want to think, oh yes, I wish I had bought a bus tour ticket, you could do it here. having said that, now I'll take you through sort of the rest of the app. You can see the schedule here, and it's pretty self-explanatory. You can click on anything to see the details. You can also filter it by what kind of program you're interested in or what day you're on, so at any point you can just sort of feel free to scroll through those and become familiar with everything that's on the schedule. It is a very full schedule. We also have a gallery of the authors that are going to be in the NVNR program, and you can feel free to scroll through those and get to know them. And any one of these things, you can just sort of click on it or tap on it and see more information about those people. The bookstore directory, this is the directory of bookstores that are present at the show. And right now we have, I think, about 132 or 133 stores represented right now, according to registration. So your store is probably in this list. And as you can see, some stores are, have logos and more information. Other stores do not. We highly, highly encourage you to find your store listing and to fill it out as completely as possible, because this directory listing is also what we're providing exhibitors as a reference for when they're dealing with the booksellers and bookstores that are coming to their tables. So you'll want to make it as complete as possible. If you're looking at your account and you see that it's not been very fully filled out, if there's not a lot of information on it, then you can click up here and at this link to update your store listing. It will take you to a different website out of the app to do that. But there's a lot of opportunity here for presenting your store, not just to exhibitors, but also to your other bookstores. And there's places in there for store logo and descriptions and information in your website and your social media handles and things like that. But there is also, let's see if I can find one that has done this. I believe Bookroom might have done this. There's also places for galleries, so that you can show pictures of your store, and places we added last year, a gallery for you to show off your store swag. That's its own separate gallery. Let's see if Eagle Eye did it.
Nikki, we have a couple questions that I want to get before you leave this area.
Okay, go ahead.
The first one is, can you go back to where you click on to update your store information before you're done? And the other one is about registering advance for the Library of Congress tour.
Okay, the Library of Congress tour I'll get to in just a second when it comes to bus tour reservations. It's a little farther down in the list. But the Bookstore Row directory, if you click on your store, this link here, it will take you. Well, I'll just go ahead and do it. It'll take you to a little login page. And you can see I'm already logged in as Hubby and Sue's. And then you can click on your store listing and fill out information about your identity, which is, just basic store descriptions, more details. One of the things that is in here is you can upload your store publicity kit. You can add a photo gallery. If you have staff and member roles, you can list them here. Some stores list the staff that are their event managers, for example, or their children's buyers, and that is all information that's transmitted to exhibitors. Exhibitors will see. So there's a fair number of things in there that you can add. And then down here, your info, this is not public, your info, it's the information that we use to contact you if there's a question about what's on or if something needs fixing with your listing. So it's just a very basic form. If you do make an update on your form, it updates immediately on the website, or relatively immediately on the website as well, and in the app as well. So let's see, going down the list here real quickly, there's a directory of exhibitors. This is ongoing, and it will have the information that they filled out, which is usually sales rep information that you need to know. If they have any store special or backlist specials or ordering specials, if they have information about deadlines for holiday orders and that sort of thing. All of that stuff we ask exhibitors to fill out in their listings. It's a little empty right now because they're just now in the process of filling all that out. So you want to revisit it periodically, but that's what you'll look at. The other important thing about the publisher vendor directory is it will tell you what table number that they're at on the exhibit floor. And then there's the virtual gallery room, which will have all of the books that you want to request. Booksellers who've been to NVNR in the past know how this works. You basically select your books and say, I want this, and basically by just clicking on it, and you click add it to your shelf. And when you've done that, then it goes in this little list that is stored, and after the show, we send the list to the publisher of all the people who have requested their various books. So this, by the way, is for books that are being offered just through the galley room. There's a lot of authors who's on this list who you will also find their books available on site during their programs, at their presentations. But if you don't happen to get a copy for whatever reason, or if you don't want to carry around copies or anything, you can also request the same books to the galley room. And one very important thing when you're selecting books is you need to make sure that your shipping address for where you want books sent to you is up to date. And so that's right here as well. We do not assume that we're shipping things to the bookstore, to your bookstore. We assume that you have your own address that you want things to go to. Let's see, Eileen mentioned genre buzz. You can see a list of the titles that have been put forth by publishers for the various genre buzz lists that are being compiled right now. Like I said, this is in the process of being built. Publishers are just now starting to upload these titles. And you're asking about bus tour reservations. If you have a ticket, you can see a list of your bus tours right here. There's 6 of them. The 5 that go to bookstores leave at 1:30 in the afternoon. The 6th leaves at 2:30, goes to the Library of Congress. So if you have a ticket, all you need to do is click on the red button to reserve your bus tour. And I think this is like one of those cases where you might not actually see the red button. If you're on the phone, you might have to click the hamburger menu to get to it. And then you can just select the bus tour and pick whichever one you want and save. And you'll see that the bus tour that you selected will appear at the top of your screen. If you change your mind, you can do that, and you can do that in my NVNR. If you go to your account, you can remove that bus tour from your account. I think
No. You all you have to do is click the red button again, and you can change or remove it there.
Okay. Well, that's an update. Okay, so yeah, all you have to do is change it by clicking the red button again. Yeah. And the tours, because there is a deadline when we need to know how many people are going to which tour. I think there's a deadline of the 31st, and then reservations. advanced registrations will close. And after that, if there's space, we will be selling bus tour tickets on site for whatever empty seats there are that that can still be filled. There is, they talked about, taking care of yourself. There's a lot of what we're calling sort of social activities at NVNR, and Candace and Kathy Ellen are probably going to hate this, but I keep flashing back to Julie on the Love Boat, right? So, but it's a bunch of sort of fun community building kinds of things. One of the things that I did want to mention is the flag swap, because we did that sort of last minute last year, but it was really, really popular, and everybody was really interested in it. So we're expanding it to more tables, more space. So if you have store branded merchandise that you want to come and drop off at the table and pick up some other store's merchandise in exchange, it's a really fun thing to do. And lots of people are like, asking, where did you get that made? How did you get that done? So it's a very fun thing to do. And finally, I did want to talk about our Discord server. NVNR has an attendee-only, bookseller attendee-only server on Discord that is our place for you all to connect with each other both before and during the show, make plans. Last year, I think all of the novel model bookstores got together in the lobby via Discord and went out to dinner together. That sort of thing. You can ask questions, but of each other and exchange information. So we really recommend it's a good way to sort of enhance all of the stuff that you're learning, and another opportunity to connect with your colleagues. And all you need to do is click on the red button to ask for an invitation and follow the instructions to get onto Discord. So we do recommend that you do that. And I think I ran through a lot there very, very fast. If anybody has any questions, feel free to put them in the chat. And I'll just stop sharing now and turn it back over to Eileen and Linda Marie.
Have a good one. Thank you.
The next people up are Elliot and Candace.
Hello, everyone. I am Candace, the member coordinator for SIBA and social media coordinator, and we want to talk about accessibility. Elliot will talk in just a second, but I'm going to let you know about a few things as far as accessibility. We'll have the gender neutral bathrooms again this year, and also a quiet room with activities that Kathy Ellen and I are going to talk about in a minute. We're adding some activities to the quiet room. And the Otter AI captioning will also be back. We're really excited about that. We had added that last year for all the keynote sessions. It will be back for this year's keynote sessions. And we're actually looking into potentially expanding it to other sessions as well. We're still working on that, but it will definitely be there for keynote sessions. And if you have any accessibility requests, y'all might have seen last year and may not have seen, I walk around with a walker. So I totally understand accessibility requests. So no matter how small they are, please contact Elliot or myself if you have any requests. We want to make sure that everyone is comfortable.
Hi, everyone. I'm Elliot Butsedek, the NEBA member manager. One thing that is different this year is that the badges will be printed when you arrive. You will sign in through the wonderful app that Nikki just taught you all about. There'll be table with little printers set up, and you can just print out your badge when you arrive. If you have any questions about that process, or you get hung up, whether it's a disability issue or just this machine is making me a little off the edge issue, we'll be right there nearby, and please just come get us and we will help you.
And also, of course, use the app that Nikki just talked about. Everything that you need is there. If you log in ahead of time and make sure all of your information is correct, like Nikki showed you under the My NVNR, that will save time when you're printing your badge, because that's where all the badge information comes from. Also, another tip is to only attend the sessions that really align with your current goals and projects. You clearly can't attend everything. There's a lot going on at the conference. So make sure to go through the schedule and attend things that matter to you right now. What are your goals for this year or for next year? And go to those sessions. And then if you have multiple staff from your store attending, divide and conquer is always a good thing to do as well.
So another good piece of advice from those of us who've been doing conferences for a long time is to set a goal for yourself about networking. What do you want to get done at this conference? Do you want to expand your events program? Do you want to meet more reps if you're a new store? Do you want to actually meet reps and get accounts and get to know them? Then that will be your priority this year. Look at what your store needs and what you need right now, and let that guide what your choices are so that you're not overwhelmed by trying to do everything. If you want to meet with reps or publishers, if you want to get more events, we really strongly suggest that you prepare a pitch in advance that talks about your store and your mission and your capacities and your goals, that you make a publicity kit and upload it to Bookstore Row so it's right there linked to your account. If you do not know what a publicity kit is in NVNR and NABA SIBA speak, it is a 2-page document that has all of the basic stats about your store. Through the Professional Bookseller School, we have a great class on how to create that kit and how to do that pitch. And for all of you who are here today, and only for you, we have a sale for that. It's usually $65. It is only $25. If you use the promo code that's being put into the chat right now, there's also a link to where you can go to find that. It's from our event management course at PBS, and it will prepare you to be able to have a great piece of paper and a practice pitch that you can hand to people to introduce your store so that you don't have to feel nervous about what to say. You'll know exactly what to say. So look for those in the chat, and that is a special promo code just for those of you here today. I strongly suggest carrying a notebook and writing down ideas as you have them. You will think that you will remember it, but by the time they put out the snacks in the afternoon, that idea will be gone. So whether you use paper or your phone or whatever app that you use, we have a wonderful journal just for the conference that's been designed for you that will be lovely. Use that if you like to write by hand. Take the notes so that you remember what you're thinking as you go along. We also have a wonderful program where we'll have postcards where you can write down the thing that you most want to remember when you get back to your store and mail yourself that postcard so that a couple weeks after the conference, you'll get a postcard in the mail that says, "Hey, me, I really meant to do this thing." And you can think, "Thanks, me, former me, for sending that because I forgot all about this thing I wanted to do." And finally, it's a big hotel. You're inside all day. There's long hallways, there's good elevators, and there's good escalators, but it's still a really big space. Wear comfortable shoes, carry your water bottle with you. We always have those tiny little plastic bottles of water around. Carry your own water bottle because you love the planet and you need more than 4 ounces of water. Bring snacks if you need them in between. The food schedule here is the food is good, and there's always like food coming out. The lunch is there. There's afternoon snacks there. But if you know you need particular kinds of snacks to keep your own energy and emotional energy up, please make sure you bring them with you. And as Candace said, find us and ask us. I'm at the desk almost all day, every day, and I would love to help you out. And also just come say hello. I know a lot of your names. I would be really thrilled to actually put you in 3 dimensions and be able to say hello.
Now, Kathy and Ellen and I are going to talk about some of the cool social activities that we're planning. We're very excited. We've been hard at work.
Yes, we want you to have so much fun with these activities, as much fun as we've had making them. We just saw a little while ago, Nikki showing you that there is a little part in the hamburger menu, as she called it, that talks about the social activities. So you can find all of the information for that there. And I'd suggest after this kind of review it, we're going to talk to you a little bit about it though as well. So you heard we talked about that we're prioritizing self-care this year. There are so many fun events and learning opportunities that you could possibly get to the end of the day and realize that you haven't kind of taken a moment for yourself or had a mindful breath. I know that's happened when I've gone to conferences before. And in that vein, we're going to build in mindful moments for you in the conference. These little micro chillers are going to be in every education session and might look like someone leading you through a mindful breathing exercise or a way to move your body or something to think about. So this is going to be a part of the conference. You don't have to do it yourself. If you have something that you really like doing, you can kind of put that in your back pocket as well. And we have other chances to unwind, like we're having the quiet room. You can thank my current puzzle obsession for us now having a puzzle in the quiet room. And it is a puzzle from a bookstore who made their own puzzle through this company. So there's also going to be information. If you want to make a custom puzzle, there's going to be a puzzle board in there. You could win the puzzle. We really want you to do the puzzle. It's going to be fun. There's also going to be a sip and coloring social where you can get your coloring on while having a nice drink and maybe some socializing. And like Elliot was just talking about, there's going to be a couple of postcard opportunities, but the self-care sort of one is a little reminder postcard. And we make it so easy for you. On the back, it says things I want to remember, 1, 2, 3. And then you give us the postcard and then we will mail it to you in the future. So you will get that note from yourself as a little reminder.
Yeah, and as Nikki also mentioned earlier, we have the swag swap again. It was one of the most successful social activities at the conference last year. So we're doubling the space available for it this year and letting you know further ahead of time. It was a last minute thing last year. So please bring along store merch or swag that you have, drop it out on the table, and then pick up something from another store. It's really that simple. It's really fun. Last year we had mugs, stickers, magnets, bookmarks, puzzles, tote bags, t-shirts. So anything that you have for your store that you want to bring, put it on the table. And it's a really fun way to see how many different ways you can make store merch. A great way to connect with other bookstores. We had folks walking around the conference with other folks' merchandise. It was really cool. And this year, we're also going to have an easel next to it. So you can write on there where you get your merch from. And other folks can take a picture of that, get ideas as to where to get merchandise as well. And we're going to have a bookseller challenge, which I am really excited about. I think it's going to be fun. Last year we had the Barbie box in the exhibitor room. So this year we're doing a bookseller challenge. And it was sort of because the Olympics are going on, but it's like bookseller Olympics. So what we're going to have, everyone can play along with them. It's going to be on the exhibit floor. So the activities are going to be matching a book to the NVNR staff member. So you'll have to see if you know what our book preferences are. Also going around the exhibit hall and noting down 5 books that look interesting to you. And my favorite one, which is our alphabetizing challenge. So it's going to be how fast can you put a stack of books in alphabetical order when every second counts, and we're going to be keeping track of folks' times, and it'll just be a fun thing to do. So if you complete all those challenges, then you will get entered to win a $50 Visa gift card, and we'll pull folks' names at the end of the day for that. So you could also just like brag to all your friends if you can alphabetize books faster than them. So it's going to be really fun. And we also have political postcards. So Kathy Ellen, if you want to talk about those and the voting booth.
Yes, and I wanted to say too, we're going to have a little whiteboard where you can write down your time as part of the bragging, so you can document it and share it on social media to impress, everyone on your feed about how fast you can get books in alphabetical order. Also a great way to let your customers know that they're in really great hands and that they'll have no problem finding books in your store because you know how to alphabetize. So for this election year, we wanted to hold our own. So we have these little mini voting booths, and we're going to be voting on your preferred reading situation. So we only have 2 candidates in each category, but is it going to be paperback or hardcover, coffee or tea, day or night? We have little ballots for you to fill out, and, please make sure you fill the entire circle in. We don't want to have any, discrepancies or hanging chads going on. We're going to have a little ballot box, and we're going to be kind of updating that, and we will share the results at the end. We're also going to have photo props for you to stand by your choices and maybe persuade others to vote your way too. You know, think like signs that say like coffee 2024 or whatever. And then we also have political postcards that are going on the entire conference. We are working with the ABA and their amazing like right to read packet that they have. And we're going to have sort of like a choose your own adventure for a message that you can write to your Congress people, just letting them know that you stand by book choice. You do not want them to sign any bill that would censor reading. So we're going to have messages that you can kind of fit onto the postcard and kind of make your own. There's going to be an area for you to check if you are registered to vote and to check for who represents you and their addresses and things like that. And we'll, like I said, that will be available for the entire conference. And there's also going to be some references there, or resources, I'm sorry, for ways that you can do something similar at your store or get your community involved with writing postcards or getting set up to vote and things like that. So we're so excited. We hope that you do all the things. We understand if you don't do all the things, but we really want you to. And you'll see Candace and I around. If you have any questions about any of this, you also can shoot us a message.
Yeah. And the other thing that Kathy Ellen and I do is social media. So we're going to sort of transfer into that. And Kathy Ellen can tell you about some of the social media things.
Yeah. So if you're posting anything about NVNR, we would love to see it. This year, we have a New Voices, New Rooms account on Instagram. It's literally at New Voices, New Rooms. So that's new. And we would love to see all the fun you're having. If you tag us at New Voices, New Rooms and use the hashtag NVNR 2024, we're going to be checking to see what shows up under that throughout the conference. And you can share videos, photos, thoughts, anything that you think is fun. We want to see how you're enjoying the conference. So please don't hesitate to share.
You are alphabetizing times. I really want
Yes, please.
Also, we want you to join our NVNR Discord, which Nikki mentioned earlier. It is in the conference app. The invitation is there. You can chat with other booksellers attending the conference. You can continue the conversation after the conference that stays up all year. So it's a great way to make connections before you go and during and after and get your questions answered as well. You can use it to coordinate meetups. So please go and join our Discord and actually use it. We want to see y'all talking on there. All of us are on there as well.
Please don't let, I don't know, Discord intimidate you. It's fairly intuitive once you get on there. I promise you it's not scary. And we're here to help you with that too. Finally, say hi to us because we love sharing with you all year. If you're in SIBA, I know you've seen Candace's great videos. If you're in NABA, you see my face enough, I think. But we have seen you. We've heard your videos too. We've seen all your stuff. We want to meet you and talk to you. So don't hesitate to say hi. If you came last year, you know that we had some little NVNR flags. So you'll be able to find us and like, we're going to be at all of the social things. I think Candace and I are kind of hard to miss. So you shouldn't have a problem finding us. We'd really like to see you. So please come say hi.
Are you all done with your part?
Yes. Sorry, I will mute. There might be kids crying in the back.
So next up are the presidents of our two organizations, Julia Davis from the Bookworm in Powder Springs, Georgia, and Hannah Oliver Depp of Loyalty Bookstores in Silver Spring, Maryland, and Washington, D.C. And they will be offering some important tips for you all.
Hannah, you want to go first, or you want me to take a step first?
You go first, and we'll just keep it casual and keep going.
Just to reiterate and expand a little bit on some of the things that were already said. Last year was actually my first bookseller conference. Coming from a corporate background, I will tell you, New Voices in the Room is absolutely fabulous. Coming from a corporate background where you're like, oh, I'm going to dip out on a lot of these things that I don't want to attend. I'm just going to show my face. You're not going to do that here at New Voices New Room. So it's really important, I think, to go ahead and get your schedule in order, kind of lay some things out on where you want to be, because it's a great chance. There's so many great things that are going to be happening. you're not going to feel overwhelmed, but you're not going to want to miss anything. So managing your time is going to be great. I would also say press kits and digital business cards. Those were huge. If you don't let press kits intimidate you, if you don't have one, it's a great opportunity to showcase your store, your uniqueness of your store. For me, business cards, and I know when I go to a conference, everything ends up in the bottom of a bag somewhere or the bottom of the suitcases. And then you're like, I don't know whose business card this is. And I didn't write a note. I didn't have time. So just imagine you getting that little small handful and your publishers getting a very large handful. So you're going to kind of get lost in the pile potentially, or shift it. So that's where the digital business card comes in. And for me, I actually had mine in, I have it on my phone, but usually they come on a little card, which I put in my badge. So instead of me searching, because that's the other thing, you're going to have a whole bunch of books in your hand and all this other stuff. And if you're like me, there's stuff on top of stuff. So you may not be able to access your information to pass on. So if it's on a digital card, it's easier for you to pass it on to other booksellers, publishers, things like that. So if you don't have one, I think it's a lot easier. I would highly recommend it, because your hands are going to be full. There are going to be lots of free books there. And as booksellers, we love free books. Utilize those free books. I know for me, New Voices, New Room, was not right before, but I had my first book fest this year. So a lot of those freebies were great. Great, great, great. So take advantage, but in doing that, you also need to plan how to get them back. Go with a plan. I did not have a plan. I did not know I was going to take that much. So go with a plan on, make sure your FedEx account is there. See who's traveling from your state, partner with them. If someone's driving, go ahead, see if you can arrange to get some books back. Luckily, someone was driving, but I did not plan that in advance. So I would highly recommend that. Hannah, you want to go ahead?
Yeah, I would say on that note, there is mailing options from the hotel. If you want to plan on FedExing it, or they also offer USPS at the concierge desk. And these are definitely ways. I would definitely say if you're planning on driving, or if you are in a position where you're flying or you're training, just like think about what that means for you. As everybody said, like have a plan. There's ways you can kind of create your own schedule in the app, or you can, analog it in your notebook or whatever. But also, as everyone's also said, take care of yourself and plan for those moments where you're having a fantastic conversation in the hallway, or you attend a great panel and you and another person are clearly thinking along the same lines, and you're going to grab a quick cup of coffee. Those things are also important and a big part of why in-person conferences are just kind of like not replicable any other way, as much as we do benefit from all of our virtual options too. So it's okay to take those moments for yourself and to follow up with those conversations, because that's why we're all gathered together to have those conversations. Do not be afraid to, check in as you check in with all of the vendors who'll be there, the publishers, the sidelines folks. Quite often, they don't want to take those things back. So that is a way you can get freebies if they're not giving them out immediately. There's a lot of opportunities where things are being given out. Say like, will you have anything when you don't want to pack up at the end of this show? But also, please build in and make a plan for what vendors you're excited to visit and to check out. And absolutely prepare and bring not just your, everyone's talking about listing yourself in Bookseller Row. Please do that. A press kit seems very fancy and intimidating, but as I think Kit pointed out, there's definitely a way you can snag a little help for that press kit, and there's plenty of examples as well. But also come prepared with basic information about your store, because one of the great things is there's so many of us who are newer stores, or who are opening another location, or doing pop-ups, or are about to start the brick and mortar, or maybe even launching a second location. You want to have your information ready so you can set up an account with the sales reps right there on the floor, so you have less to do when you get back to your bookstore and go, oh no, real life starting again. Oh my gosh, Kelly just made a note in here that I'm going to shout out. Don't take something off the table without asking. Be considerate, be kind. The reps on the other side of the table are people too, and they may or may not have permission to give everything away. So check in with them, but it's a good way to chat with them and start the conversation and let them know what kind of books your store and your community are excited about. This might be maybe you don't have a dedicated sales rep with an account. This is a great time to meet someone, get some face-to-face time with somebody. Make sure you do chat with those folks. We're book people. This is a lot of peopling for us, but take care of yourself and prepare to talk to those folks. Bring information about your store. If you are hoping to open some accounts with these people, I recommend having, 3 of your references, either other publishers or vendors, if it's Ingram or Fair or anything that you have account with and credit with, because they like to list those out, your store address, your EIN number, your tax ID number, have those things, whether it's, in a little Google Doc or in or written down if you're a little anxious about tech, but have all of your account information to sign up for a new account ready, or at least the basics about your store as a business ready, so that you can get the things rolling to start opening these accounts, because there's going to be so many deals to purchase things at a much higher percentage point sometimes than we get normally. So one of the reasons that our conference is early is because it gives us a chance to still buy a little bit for the holidays, perhaps, or really get into planning our next year ahead of things. So this is a really good time to take advantage of floor display offers, to take advantage of a new sidelines vendor, to actually finally get a rep. Someone is asking a really good question of how do you acquire references. A lot of times references are just somebody you already have an account with, which is one of the terrible things about credit, is like you have to have credit to get credit. So if you have an account open with another publisher or another sidelines vendor, have a couple of those ready and listed. And if you don't, say, I'm a new store, what kind of references are you looking for? And they should be able to tell you what they're looking for. When I was opening, the only thing I had was an Ingram account. And then I had a couple other business references of other businesses who are willing to vouch for me. They just often want to see 1 to 3 names. And then I will definitely say, what we're doing here is peer-to-peer mentorship. Again, those hallway conversations, this is really what it's all about. If you don't yet know who's on the board, most of us will be walking around with little identifiers that we're your NABA and your SIBA board, as well as our incredible staff on NABA and SIBA. But, take a little gander at the website. We have our awkward photos up there from God knows when we took them. And, we're there to chat with you. We are very, very available. Stop us in the hallways. Look to see your board. We're happy to talk through walking this in the moment. Get to know your NABA and your SIBA board. And we are happy to chat with you when you see us on the sales floor or in between panels. Lean on folks in Booksellers. The only reason bookselling is still around and still here is because we believe in peer-to-peer help, and it's the most generous group of people I've ever encountered. I think that was what Julia was saying at the beginning, like coming from another world. You're like, what? Who are these people? Why are they so willing? And then another really great thing to do is to tell publishers or anyone you do have a relationship with that you will be at the show, and say, like, if you are meeting with any of your sales reps, if you're lucky enough to have them, or you're talking to a customer service rep, say, do you know if anyone's going to New Voices, New Rooms, or to NABA SIBA show? It really helps to say, like, I'll see you at XYZ, and you can find out if somebody's going to be there, because it's nice. It's also nice to know who you might run into if you can see a familiar face at the show. I also think it's really helpful because you can even make appointments if you are having, say, issues with a publisher and you don't have a dedicated rep or a dedicated customer service person, to say, hey, can I make an appointment to sit down with you at the show? This is a really great time. They're all coming to us. Let's take advantage of it. So if you're having issues with recurring issues with shipping, or recurring issues with a credit limit, or recurring issues not getting, your orders through, maybe this is a good time to sit down and troubleshoot some of that stuff, or at least make an appointment to do so. Oh my goodness, there's so much, but it basically, be prepared for some talking. So bring your water bottle and maybe a meditation app if you need that too.
One other thing I would add is if you are looking to do events or want to try and get some authors together or have a list of what's coming for not only this year but next year, try and put those together as well, because this is the opportunity. The face-to-face is always important. So it's a great opportunity for you to try and get that author you may have wanted.
That's a really good tip. But yeah, I think, this is a lot of info too. We know that we're laying on you, and this is from us going to conferences and stuff we wish we thought about before. But I will just reiterate, make a plan for when you return. I often make that plan during the conference, to be completely honest, about when I'm going to chat with my team about what happened at the conference. What did we do? What panels did we attend? If it's myself and one other person attending the show the full time, and then because I'm lucky enough to be in town, a couple of folks are popping in for certain things. So we want to gather after. So we're going to have a meeting afterwards and talk about things and try to actually make a calendar of timeline of when we're going to enact these ideas, because fall is right here. So it's going to be real easy to lose track of things. And we might say, okay, that's an awesome idea, but that's a 2025 project. That's not happening now. And I think we can get this done before the holidays, realistically. So thinking through those things with your team. And if you are, solely doing this solo, or you only have super part-timers or some volunteers, see if there's anyone else in your community that you can meet up with and do a little work session together with, another bookseller in your region, or someone who would be happy to do some co-working with Zoom online. It's really, really good to set aside time after the conference to start enacting some of these ideas or thinking through stuff. And I personally find, as a distractible queen, that it's really good to have dedicated co-working time on my calendar a week after the conference or a few days after the conference to say, okay, this is when I'm going to actually work through things. Because you get back to your store, it's catch-up mode, it's figuring out what you missed, it's making up for hours because someone was covering for you while you were away. So make sure to set aside that time to actually take what you learned at the New Voices, New Rooms conference and bring it back to your bookstore, share it with whoever didn't get to go to the conference, and exchange ideas with anyone who did. And that postcard is super helpful, because that postcard arrives and I'm like, oh yeah. What did I miss, Julia?
I think we got everything. Yeah. And just gonna reiterate too, like whenever you see me, if there's something, a question, comment, or just anything, just don't hesitate to stop me at all. And it's going to be, if you're a first timer, it may seem overwhelming. It's just going to be a great experience. I know last year I went with a broken toe and I was still going to everything. So it's going to be nice not to have a broken toe this time.
Well, thank you both.
Knock on wood.
Great tips.
Right.
So I think we've reached the end of our hour. Thank you to all the presenters for all that great information, and to all of you for coming and attending. We will have a orientation session on site on Thursday, and we encourage first timers to attend. If you need any help registering, if you haven't registered yet, or any help with the app, or booking bus tours, please reach out to us. We are happy to help on anything. And we look forward to seeing you in 4 weeks in Arlington. So thank you all so much.